Ambition is the great fire. It's the liberator of the unconscious person, you know? It's like the first requirement of all action.
I have no fear. I have only ambition, and I want mine, and I will do anything to protect and feed my family.
How you doing? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine. And yourself?
I'm cool. Been anxious to be able to talk to you and everything. Being able to, because of the content of the music and everything, it was much different than what we're used to having here on the Ambition. So, it's a pleasure. So where you currently from right now?
I'm from Chicago.
Chicago, Illinois. So, tell us something about Chicago you feel like the world don't already know about Chicago.
Well, one thing about Chicago, most people in the media and on social media at large is always concerned about the violence and the crime, which is a problem here in Chicago. But Chicago is a very diverse city. We always got a lot going on here, and the hip hop scene here, from what I've observed, is very diverse. It has its own different multi-layers of different forms of music, and that's something that's not publicized as much throughout the media as it should be. Okay. Chicago is much more than just the crime rate. I mean, it's the third largest city in America, and it's one of the most cosmopolitan international cities out there.
Okay. And I mean, just based on your own mind frame, why you feel like that, you know, the media shades away from, you know, the arts of it. You know what I mean? It's so many different talented individuals. Why would they simply focus on the negative?
That's just the way of the industry. The industry's been like that since the 90s. And then in the early 2010s, when drill music started to become popular, it focused primarily on that aspect of Chicago. I mean, because the drill music here in Chicago, it really told the real side of the streets. Okay. It was just the gang aspect just morphed into the music. And everything got focused strictly on the drill side and left the art aspect of hip hop out of it. So that's why it's been more of a focus towards that negativity. Because the gang problem in Chicago has always been a problem.
Right.
It's just the music catapulted to a higher level.
Okay. So the music, so you feel like hip hop kind of like escalated into being more dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning that you living in an area where it's violent, of course, but then when you start putting it to music and getting out to more people, and this person is telling it from their perspective, that person's telling it from that perspective, and you're like, oh, your neighborhood probably ain't better than my neighborhood, meaning did it kind of escalate to more violence?
I think it's more of that the younger generation saw that, social media gives you a little bit more exposure. So what started happening is this gang is in tour with this gang from this neighborhood.
Right.
See, the thing with Chicago is it's not necessarily a gang problem. It's more of a neighborhood problem.
Okay.
So this neighborhood that might be GD is going against this other neighborhood that might be BD. But down the street, these BDs are in tour with this BD. So it becomes more of a neighborhood problem. And then everybody all likes the music already. So what they decided to do was put their little neighborhood of gang wars inside the music.
Right.
That's what gathered the more exposure. And this is why back in the early 2010s, drill music became very popular.
Okay. So what neighborhood did you grow up as a youngin'? Let's say, I'll say 4 or 5 years old, you know what I mean? Really stepping outside a little bit. You know what I'm saying? What was the neighborhood like? What was the name of the neighborhood?
I'm from the west side of Chicago in the North Lawndale neighborhood. My neighborhood is K-Town.
Okay.
The K is abbreviated for killer.
Okay.
And it's about an 8-block radius where all the streets started with the letter K.
Okay.
But it's also one of the most porous and one of the most dangerous neighborhoods throughout the whole city.
Okay. Was there any balance with the danger, with the violence that you was around?
Well, I'm 34 years old, so my childhood stems more so from the 90s.
Okay.
But even back in them days, it was violent, definitely violent. You know, many people don't know the crime rate in Chicago was actually higher in the 80s and 90s than it is that's being propagated throughout the media now.
Okay.
So I saw a lot of that going on, but I would say the difference when I was growing up in my neighborhood was on my certain block, it was more community oriented, meaning you knew everybody on your block and your neighborhood, and everybody felt more like a family.
Okay.
So although it was crime and a lot of people didn't have everything, what we did have, we normally shared it amongst each other, and it was more of a tight-knit unit.
Okay. So kind of like extended family, like, you know, if I got another bike, a young mongoose or something, I'm gonna give it to the little, you know what I mean, the little brother down the way that I know ain't got a bike. You know what I mean?
Right,
we end up being cool.
Right, put to you like this, if you with your homeboys and y'all doing something that was bad, and the older ladies on the block found out about it, they was gonna tell everybody, and eventually it got to your mama that you was messed up in the neighborhood.
Right.
And they probably whooped you for your mama.
Right. Okay. So if we're looking at that dynamic, you know what I'm saying, as far as like the community, as far as like in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Now, what was really going on inside the household? Like, how was moms and pops and everything like that?
My mom and pops, they weren't a couple. My mom pretty much was a single mother. However, my mother, she was a hard worker. She made sure that me and my brothers were taken care of. And in my household, I had uncles and older cousins around, so I had that male guidance and inspiration around me. So I was one of the kids in my neighborhood that had a strong male presence around me at all times. And then, you know, my mother, she was disciplined, she was clean, she kept order. So I grew up in a more stable environment. Okay.
And at what point did you start filling out the art? Not necessarily if it came out in music first, but if you knew how to draw or sing or anything like that, you know what I mean? What was your first thing to coming out?
I would say probably between the age of 7 and 10, because my background is a little bit like this. I grew up with a speech impediment. I was diagnosed with a speech impediment problem. Okay. I didn't learn how to speak till I was nearly 5.
Oh, okay.
So I was placed in special education as a child. And while I was in special education, I learned how to read and write, and I learned how to speak, but I was very shy.
Okay.
So I would say around 7, I started to learn how to draw pictures. I started learning, you know, I'm a huge sports fan, so as a child, I used to draw and create football, basketball, and baseball stadiums out of paper.
Oh, okay.
So that right there built my creativity from a very young age.
Okay.
And being that I was shy as a child, I started writing poetry. Like back then, if I liked a little girl, you know, but I was afraid to tell her how I really felt, I would just write poetry and just say, there's something about you I like, da-da-da. And this is what made me creatively grow more artistic.
Okay.
And not only just by art and writing poetry, just reading enhanced my creativity.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was like, you go from drawing, then I'm like, okay, then you jump into the poetry. So there had to be reading and books in that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As far as like, yeah, then you start writing the poetry and everything. So did the poetry end up to music right away, into hip hop, rap music, or what did it start leading to?
Poetry started out just poetry.
Okay.
Hip hop came along later because while I wrote my poetry, I also went to church. I was in the choir.
Okay.
I would say the choir aspect led me to the music.
Okay. As far as instrumentally, you mean instrumentally
go
to
ahead,
the music? You mean like instrumentally, like when you're in a choir, like you hear the drums, you hear the pianos, and you hear, you know what I mean, different instruments. You mean musically like that? Or just singing, lyrically?
Lyrically, the poetry is what made me want to rap. But musically, it was the church music. Listening to, like you just mentioned it, listening to the drums, listening to the guitar, the piano, and then going to music class and being fascinated with different sounds. But also, as a youngster, I had uncles that listened to jazz, that listened to Prince and Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder back in those days. So
so you was getting that.
Here it is as a youngster. I got this wide variety of old music as well as that church background that kind of inspired me to want to lean in that direction of hip hop.
Okay. So you didn't look at the music, because a lot of times the youngins now, they look at, if the music was 20 years old, that's old music, I don't want to listen to that. You see what I'm saying? So it was more like back then, it was kind of like more you had appreciation for the Stevie Wonder, an appreciation for the music like that you know what I mean, that made you move forward. Okay.
Well, back in those days, you listened to what your mama and grandma listened to, you know. So my grandmother used to listen to, I remember going fishing with my grandmother, and she used to listen to Patti LaBelle.
Okay.
That was her favorite artist. She used to listen to, I can't think of the name right now. But she used to listen to those 60s, 70s, and 80s type of artists. Right. And you grew an appreciation for it as you got older.
Right. Okay. So you got Patti LaBelle, you got jazz, you know what I'm saying, going on and everything. And then when we get kind of like to, where did it get to the rap? Around like high school? Was it high school or was it before high school?
Before high school, I would say when Me Against the World came out back in 95, you know, Tupac's album.
Okay.
Dear Mama, when Dear Mama came out, that made me listen to hip hop, because until that time I was listening to church music and R&B. But when I listened to Dear Mama, I started growing a bigger fascination for hip hop. Okay.
So Tupac was really like your first introduction then, you could say.
Yeah, Tupac was my first introduction, yes.
Okay. All right, that's what's up. So what did the song Dear Mama do to you? It's, you know what I mean? It made you switch like quick, like, you know, it made you like, okay, I've been doing this for a minute, but damn, this like right over here is like something different. Like, what was it about it?
It was the appreciation Tupac spoke about in that song for his own mother that resonated with me on a personal level. Because I looked at my own mother as someone I looked up to. After all, here's a woman who never gave up on me. She recognized that I had a problem as a child, and she worked tirelessly to ensure that I got the help that I needed as a child. My mother never gave up on me, and she always encouraged me to be the best that I could be. That's what inspired that song to be near and dear to me.
Okay.
Because I could look at my own mother in the same reflection as that song did.
Right. I got you. And off of that inspiration of Dear Mama, what led you up to writing like your first ever song?
Here's the ironic thing about that. Okay, now I'm going into junior high school. I'm about 7th, 8th grade. It's around 97, 98.
Okay.
Music starts to change around that time, you know, because Tupac and Biggie are dead at that time. So now music the hip hop's becoming more commercialized.
Okay.
Master P was dominating at this time in 98. So everybody in my neighborhood loved No Limit.
Okay.
What made me start writing my first song, I was 14. I had visited my aunt in Columbus, Ohio, and I was listening to this song by Soulja Slim called From What I Was Told. I had liked the beat.
Right.
So I ended up writing the song with the same title, but it was a gangster rap song. I just spoke about what I saw in the neighborhood.
Right. Okay.
That was my introduction to writing lyrics. I was 14 in the 8th grade at that time.
Boom. So when you wrote that song, and everything like that, did you feel like, man, I could write like a couple hundred more of these joints? You know what I'm saying? Or did you kind of like looking at like, oh, that was just a song, my interest is in something else?
When I wrote the song, the first person I rapped it to was my my cousin Tony's 8 years older than me, so he was 22 at the time. He was real deep with the Wu-Tang Nas and all them. Right. When I first rapped that song to him, he looked at me and said, "Boy, you ain't no gangster. You ain't never done it a day in your life. Right. Boy, you gotta rap about getting A's and B's in school, something you good at."
Right.
and so I changed from rapping about that, man, because I couldn't deny it. I'm like, I ain't no gangster.
Right.
So being around him, that made me want to, diversify my taste in music.
Okay.
But after I wrote that song, I was convinced, like, man, I can write more and more of this.
Right. But then you have to look at it like, just how you said in your own perspective of it, you were just rapping about something that was in the neighborhood. It's like a journalist. It's like a writer. You know what I mean? If you want to tell somebody a story, you'll see it. You have to be involved. You can just see what's going on, and then that's just your testimony. Like, this is what happened in the song. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but when I wrote the song, my cousin listened to it. I'm basically was saying that I was the killer, I was the gangster, and that's what I was.
Okay. He was like, man, you better chill out, huh? All right. All right. So you went to go write something different. So no, I want to go back. I want to go back to like what was high school like? Because high school kind of like shapes you. You get into the manhood. You get into your own black manhood stuff and everything. So what was the environment like inside the high school in Chicago?
High school is like this. You get introduced to a lot of females. You start growing this liking for a lot of females. You start dating. I know me in high school, I started dating, going out on dates. But also you start to see a whole lot of competition amongst young boys. So this is what really shaped my music to get better and more precise. Because on one hand, I'm writing about my love and fascination for a certain female, but on the other hand, I gotta have more of a masculine presence as far as like having a competitive edge, being hungry and determined. Okay. So watching all this, and then playing football and basketball in high school, that kind of shaped more of my competitive edge, because now I gotta continue to get better and improve. Right. But at the same time, in the high school in Chicago, there was a lot of guys were selling dope. A lot of guys were in the gang banging. You seen a lot of fights in school, and so I'm surrounded around all this chaos and confusion. But also it's fascinating because all of it's brand new to me. Right. Now it's more of I'm finding my sense of identity surrounded with all this. And then in my junior year of high school, I transferred. Okay. I went from the public schools of Chicago, and then I moved to the south suburbs of Chicago, in which I lived with my father. Okay. So now I go to a different high school where the atmosphere is totally different. Okay. So did they feel the presence? It's kind of like when you come from the jungle. Did like the new school feel like, dang, that's a gangster ass dude right there, man. He might have went through some stuff. Did you give off that type of aura, or was you able to mask it? No, not back then, because back then, I was a nerd. So when I went to that new school, some guys tried to test me, and they ended up getting their ass beat. Excuse my language, but, No, you can curse, man. It's the ambition. You can curse. All right, cool, but that's what it was. Guys were trying to test me, and they ended up getting their ass beat. Right. Because, Cause back then I still got that, oh man, I'm in the suburbs, these dudes ain't no shit. Right. I learned the hard way right fast, like, whoa, wait a minute. Some of these people do come from Chicago, so I may want to calm that down.
Right.
But at the same time, it was kind of like the same feel from the public schools. Only difference is now you're around more sophisticated people that have a little bit more intelligence.
Right. Okay.
The intelligent portion is why I fit it in, because I've always been gifted academically.
Okay.
But now at the same time, being that I've been at these 2 years of high school in Chicago, my social skills kind of moved up a little bit. But there's still that certain type of shyness in me. That
Right.
I just always been a shy person from a kid.
Right. Okay, so tell me. Okay, you never mentioned the high school. What was the name of the high school?
Manly High School on the west side of Chicago, and then the high school I graduated from was Stormwell High School.
Okay, so we're gonna do it like this. On the high school where you started at, did you have like a favorite teacher or a favorite subject? What was like the class you like wanted to go to? Like, was like, I gotta go to that class.
ROTC was my favorite class at Manly.
Okay. ROTC. And then when you went to the new school, what did your favorite class become then?
Outside of gym, because I played ball every day in gym. Outside of that, I would say my art class.
Okay. So you get hit with the arts because the arts wasn't real. Did they really have? Did they have really an art presence in the school you went to before Mandy? Did they have a art presence, or you just didn't know about it?
They did, but you had to be a junior to be in those art program classes, and I was a freshman, sophomore, so I didn't get the chance to go into those art programs.
Okay. So after you finish high school, where does the music start coming together more in high school, or does it start elevating outside of high school once you graduate?
Oh, the music started elevating more in high school. This is when I first started doing my first performances and everything. I remember my senior year in high school, I did a song during the Black History program, about Black history.
Okay.
And I did it over a jizza beat, and I performed and did well. The whole school was loving it, but at that time I didn't know how to really appreciate the love and support. After that performance was over, I had put on a hoodie and walked back into my classroom. So while I was getting the admiration then, I didn't know how to grasp it.
Okay.
Because I was still shy and timid in my personal interactions with people.
Okay. I got you.
But to me, the music didn't come full circle until after high school when I went to the military.
Okay. So where was you? I mean, you said you went into the military, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What branch was you in?
I was in the Army. I served 9 years in the Army from 2002 through 2011, and I did 4 combat tours, 3 in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan.
Damn, that's like dope. Yeah, man, that's like so. I mean, I know you've seen a lot of stuff over there and everything like that. But I want to know is that as we going through the journey of the music, was the music still able to calm you through like battlefield situations? Did you think about Stevie Wonder? Did you think about rapping again and all that type of stuff, being more serious about it, all that? Did it help?
My music elevated to the artist you hear today.
Okay.
The consciousness you hear in my music today, this all came in a full circle in the military because that old school music never left.
Okay.
Well, once I got a hold to the Donny Hathaways and Stevie Wonders, this made me want to learn more of the old school artists. I would say when I joined the military, I was at this time I'm heavy in the hip hop then. I'm a fan at this time.
Right.
But also I'm also deep into the older artists. Now I'm learning more about James Brown. I'm heavy into Barry White and Isaac Hayes and all of these older soulful artists.
Right. Okay. And can you say that some of the stuff that you've seen, like on the tours and everything, did it really help with the lyrical content? Meaning that, you know, okay. Because when I listen to the music, it's more socially conscious. It's more like, we need to save the kids, man. We need to empower. So I'm thinking, if you're in the military, you may have seen kids that may not necessarily all been black from the neighborhood. You may have seen some, you know what I mean, from different races, but they still, you know, in poverty, and they still trying to make it, and you seeing that in your eyes. So my thing is, as an artist, it's kind of like how you was, you know what I'm saying, growing up in the beginning, you was like saying like when you made the gangster rap, like all you did was just tell the story. It was like good, but now you overseas and you seeing this stuff. So is it clicking in your head again, like, man, I'm gonna put my pen together and I'm gonna tell the story based on what I've seen out here too, and put it into like the environments of the United States?
Yeah, because the experience is very similar.
Okay.
What I witnessed growing up, when I was in Iraq, I saw the same thing, probably even worse.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the situation like, I thought I lived in poverty, but when you go over there and you literally see and you experience the poverty those people over there are going through, it makes you appreciate your situation much more. But at the same time, I was able to interact with people more on a personal level, because at this time in the military, I had became a Muslim.
Okay.
And as a Muslim, it granted me access to get more into certain aspects of dealing with the local population over in Iraq, Afghanistan, and other places in the Middle East I went to than I would if I was just a regular American soldier.
Right. I got you.
And then, you know, me being in the infantry, we're on the ground, so we're literally in the community. We're literally in the neighborhoods. We're literally interacting with the people every day. So, you know, yes, as a soldier, you do your job, but also as a human being, you do have a certain compassion and dignity for other people.
Right.
So, you know, my writing just basically enhanced on the things I had seen as a child anyway.
So we go over there, it's kind of like worse. It kind of it amplifies it, but it also kind of hums you a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? You're like dang, like, you know, I had it bad, but look how they living, man. Like, they don't have this, they don't have that, and I was like tripping this, like, you know what I'm saying, on that level. Okay, I got you. So when you look at when you get out the military, where does the music go after that point?
This is when I began to actually start recording and taking it more seriously. Actually putting it out there more.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, when I was in the military, I didn't record as much as I would love to, because of the fact I was always in combat.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah.
So now I'm out of the military. Now I got no but time on my hands. Now I'm back home in Chicago. I started to go on the poetry circuit. Okay. And I'm watching these artists perform, and, you know, they're showing support to each other and they're promoting. So now I'm starting to learn the business aspect of how they do things, and I'm like, how can I use this to promote myself as well?
Right. And when you say poetry circuit, now, you mean like the spoken word poetry? You talking about spoken, like that? Okay, I got you.
Yeah, the spoken word community in Chicago is very strong, brother. It's very strong.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's like the Gil Scott Heron. You know what I mean? Back in the day, like that. Yeah. They had the slams.
Lost Poets. They're from Chicago.
Okay, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you hit the poetry circuit and everything, because you don't even need a beat then. That's just like a cappella, right? That's like you set your own pace, your own rhythm.
That's what I thought at first.
Okay. What happened?
That's what I thought at first, and then I seen this one guy. He got up there and had his own music, and he did his own thing. And after that, I'm like, I'm never doing a cappella unless they just don't have a DJ.
Right. Okay. Oh, so he brought it. So you already could do it, but just so many people was probably doing it a cappella anyway. You figure like, man, that's the only way you can do it.
Well, here's the thing. You know, the real poets, they still go a cappella. Only time they're using beats is when they do their own albums.
Okay.
But when they're actually performing, they're doing it a cappella. It's just when you're a hip hop artist, it makes more sense for you to do it with your own beat.
Okay.
Because the cadence of a hip hop artist is always going to differ than the cadence of a poetry artist.
Okay. So which one did you like more though, being a hip hop artist or being more the poetry?
I've always admired being a hip hop artist. I've never made a distinction. It's just that the poetry community gave me a platform to give me the exposure.
Right. So do you feel? Go
ahead, bro.
No. I just wanted to ask. Like, do you feel the poetry community is more supportive in poetry than hip hop is in hip hop?
I will agree to that.
Okay. Because the music, hip hop, if you making a hip hop song, it does start off as poetry. Really, it's words that rhyme. You know what I'm saying? So it really starts as poetry and then evolves into another greatness. You see what I'm saying? So I was just wondering, you know what I mean? Because the spoken word community is kind of small, but it is kind of close knit, and they do support people more, like how you said, like out there in Chicago. So I was just asking.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, there's an acronym I've always used with rap, RAP, rhythm and poetry. It all stems from the spoken word, and we all know spoken word comes from those ancient African traditions where people sat around and heard all these old stories, all these old, all these old stories and things like that. So they're pretty much one of the same thing. Only difference is with hip hop, we can use more of a beat and also have other elements to it, whereas with just spoken word, you're just going a cappella and you got a cadence that you don't even have to necessarily rhyme. You can just make up words as you go, whereas with hip hop, it's been more centered as an MC, just staying on beat, being being poetic, but also having a rhythmic flow where you're rhyming and you're, things like that.
Right. Yeah, because with the acapella, with the poetry, it's kind of like you can really focus. Well, it depends on who the audience is, because you're able to focus on the words and you don't hear nothing else in the background. It's like 100% focus on what the person's saying. You put a beat behind it or music behind it, you automatically, your attention is going to be divided, like from the message. You see what I'm saying? On that, depending on, especially how hard the beat is, the beat hits you. You like, you know what I mean? You really ain't like getting the whole song, really. Okay.
Right.
All right. So if you look at your music, like right now, where we at right now and everything, how would you describe your style?
My style is more of a 90s East Coast style, inspired by MCs like Common and Nas, but also with more of a consciousness theme of a Public Enemy, KRS-One type of inspired theme music. Okay.
So are you able to adapt, meaning like talk about various different type of topics? Like if you say like KRS-One, Nas, that type of social conscious, can you flip on, okay, we could do a party joint, or we can do, something like strictly like, for the ladies or something like that, like the diversity. Explain the diversity.
I can do it. I choose not to do it on my own albums because I tend like to focus on messages more on my personal albums. Okay. But I have done it before. Like I've done cuts like for the steppers. Chicago, we big on the stepper scene. So I've done cuts for steppers that ladies can feel and gravitate to it. Okay. Because in Chicago, we got that playeristic pimpish, steppers lifestyle where, you're a little bit more flamboyant.
Right.
So I can make songs like that. I can make party songs too, because
Right.
I used to club all the time when I was in the military.
Okay.
It's just, for me, it's more convenient when I do my own personal albums. I tend not to do party joints. But,
Okay.
if I'm writing for somebody else, or if I'm, someone wants me to get on a mixtape and they want me to do a party joint, that's never a problem for me. I'm very diverse when it comes to this pen.
Right. And it's crazy when you say pen, meaning that means bars. That means lyrics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what do you feel like this generation and everything is not appreciative as far as like how hip hop's core has always been, which has always been about storytelling. It's been about bars, it's been about lyrics, it's been about metaphors, it's been about analogies, imageries, all these different things.
I think the corporate aspect of hip hop has diluted what hip hop once was. For example, with me, I get my inspiration from the 90s. In the 90s, you had bars. I come from an era where you had lyricists, you had spitters, and you had people who really adored and pushed the culture.
Right.
Since I would say around I want to say late 2000s, when the corporate aspect of hip hop started to take more precedence than the culture and art itself, now everything is focused on the monetization aspect. Everybody's always focused on the money or getting the bag and selling this dope to get the bag and tipping on that lean or whatever to get, that requires having the bag and all of these things.
Right.
So now when you corporatize everything and the only purpose is money, now you can just delete and erase all the other aspects of hip hop. And I think it's a generational thing too. Ordinarily generations tend to not respect the older generations as much.
Right.
But as far as what the music is today, with these younger artists disrespecting the older artists and disrespecting the culture altogether, I honestly don't know where that comes from. Because the old artists, the artists of the 90s, they always gave those artists and pioneers of the 70s and 80s their respect.
Right.
Even in the 2000s, especially in the South.
Right.
When T.I. and all them came out, they always gave their props.
Like UGK and all that.
UGK and A-Ball and MJG and all that.
Yeah. So we do have to be able to look at it, man, because it's kind of like if it wasn't for those people, man, there would be no opportunities for this generation to be able to create money. So is it blatant disrespect, or it's just that they don't know how important it is to be able to carry the legacies on?
I think it's a little bit of both. You can't say an artist is old simply because they're not relevant in the public eye. That's a blatant disrespect to that person's legacy.
Right.
But at the same time, as the older artists, you have to learn to recognize when to groom and mold the younger guys. And being that I'm from Chicago and I see this all the time, I'm seeing where the young guys come from. The young guys are like, look, man, these old guys won out here. They weren't teaching us and things like that. And that's something older artists sometimes tend to do. They tend to just hog the spotlight and not want to let the younger guys shine. So now when the younger guys come in, they feel like, oh, since you wasn't there for me, I don't owe you shit, and I don't owe no respect to you now that I'm on in the game. But that can eventually backfire, because if you saying over 25 is old and you don't give a damn about them, guess what? 5-10 years, you're gonna be that older guy, and what the next generation gonna say about you. So you have to be careful of showing blatant disrespect to the pioneers. Because without those pioneers, you don't even get a chance to do this. Like, for example, bro, the way the game is right now artists are taking more control of ownership of their music.
Right.
But how did they do that? Those artists of the 80s and 90s had to take some risk of getting fucked over by the labels in order for these younger guys to see the value of their talent and in their music.
Yeah.
But you don't completely disrespect those old guys because they took those bullets for you. So you don't have to go through the pressure. It's just like in basketball. You can see LeBron James against Michael Jordan. Okay, everybody know, a lot of people say Jordan's the GOAT. But then, a lot of people love LeBron, which I love both.
Right.
But you can't disrespect you the GOAT and this, that, and your record don't back you up.
Right.
Because when Jordan's day, Jordan never claimed he was the GOAT.
Right. Jordan
said, listen, I want to go against the GOATs. So when I leave the game, I let people decide that for me.
Right.
And that's the blatant arrogance this younger generation is having. My stance on it personally, brother, is I want to help mold and guide those youngest.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not going to let you disrespect me and tear down everything that I built because you ain't been through that same type of struggle I've been through.
Right. You didn't have it easier.
Exactly.
You didn't have it easier because of what I had to go through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. That is, man, that needs to be said, man. Because that is crazy, man. How it's like blaming a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like even if we looking at being able to curse on a song, man, that's like Luke went through hell for that, man. Went to court and all that.
Yeah. Oh man, the only thing I wish Luke would have done back in those days when he came out, because Luke is the first rapper ever to come out with explicit content on the album.
Yeah.
Like the label itself.
Right.
I wish Luke would have patented that, man.
Yeah.
If he'd have patented that, Luke would have easily been the first billionaire in hip hop.
Yeah, because everybody was using that, man. That was like the new standard.
Man, just imagine the money he would be having off that alone, man. It'll be like he done owned everybody's publishing.
Yeah, probably would, man. Yeah. Cause he showed what the world with the government on that, man, and won. You know what I'm saying? So that opens up the door for the young generation to say what they need to go ahead and say, man. You see what I'm saying on that end? But what do you feel like? What do you feel like would be a solution? What do you feel like what has to happen in order to have like an understanding so people can move forward, man, and still create great sounds for the world?
For this conversation we're having, that's part of a solution. For one, I think for us, the music, there has to be more of a balance. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just focusing on the mainstream radio stations, because they're going to play whatever they want to play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We have to continue to build and grow smaller independent platforms like your platform into bringing more of that balanced scale, because all the rap music ain't negative. You got guys like myself that's putting out positive music, that's putting out music that's helpful and uplifting to our people.
Right.
So that's one solution, just bringing more of a balanced scale. And also, guys like myself, we have to get more out there by literally being out there with the younger people and listening to them and also giving them the game.
What if...
Go ahead, bro.
No. What I want to ask you... I was
about to go in on that one.
No, you can still go in. But I was going to ask you this. This has always been a problem. What if they don't want to listen? How do you get them? Because remember what you said. Remember what you said in school, right? You said, like, reason why you really wasn't in class because of what? Because it wasn't interesting.
But here's the thing with that. You only need one. You don't need one to listen. One to listen, that'll build up to a second person. I know this from personal experience.
Okay.
As much as adults like my music, it joys me more when a young person come up to me and say, man, I love what I heard. Do you have more? And I give them a copy of my album, or I give them a link to my music, and they hit me up and tell me, man, like, bro, you inspired me.
Right.
Or you get out in these streets. So now I take it from the artist aspect, and now I take it to how I perceive myself as a black man.
Okay.
Because my music ain't just based only on art. My music is a reflection of who I am as a black man. As a black man, it is absolutely necessary for us to get out in our communities and to speak and to hear and to form that type of bond with our youngest. Believe it or not, bro, these youngest do want to hear what we have to say. We just gotta be tangible with the solutions. You can't just tell a young guy he gotta stop selling, he gotta stop gang banging and selling dope if you ain't got no solution for him.
Right.
As opposed to, hey, look, man, this is what I do. I'm in construction, bro. You know, I think you got some sense, and I think you could do more than just being out in the street. Bro, just rock with me. I'm in this construction, they pay good money and legal money. Right. Bro, I can get you in the door if you're willing to go through the training. You see the difference?
Right.
Instead of telling him to do better, I'm giving him an opportunity of showing him how to do better.
Right. That's important.
This is what we gotta do, not only, you know, in the music as well. We gotta grab these youngsters and show them the balance. Show them that, bro, I understand, you know, you wanna talk to your age group, and you wanna talk about the things you like to do as a youngster, but you gotta understand, bro, there's an even bigger demographic you could reach as well.
Right.
You could touch older people like me by coming with something positive as well. Because the negativity, I'm still gonna listen to it because it's the reality of the situation.
Right.
You know, if you talking about pop pills, shooting, and doing what you do, I gotta listen to that because that's what's really going on. But at the same time, bro, that's not the only thing that's going on.
Right.
There's other things in life as well you could touch on if only you hear it from people who've been through that and if you experience that yourself. So that's part of my solution I come up with by just being the example and showing people that, hey, it's another way out than just sticking and just adapting to only just the negativity.
Right. Bring some balance, man, to the whole thing. Exactly.
Yes,
exactly,
sir.
Yeah. Because if you don't bring the balance, because you reach down and you let, you know what I mean, because everybody's hearing the music and it's influential, of course. Everybody knows that, but the thing is, it's like, you just can't just keep giving them the murder, kill stuff without giving them like the repercussions and the consequences. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
On that same level. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Let them know how it feels like wake up in the middle of the night thinking about somebody that just died and everything. They make it cool in a video. Like, you know what I'm saying? But in real life, man, people be really having nightmares, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, about certain stuff and everything. So definitely need to be able to you know what I mean, share more of that, man. That's definitely important. So then another thing too, as far as like Chicago, being in the city and everything like that, what do you feel, the Midwest in general, what do you feel that they have that the world still doesn't appreciate in music? Because if we look at the Midwest, they never had a run in music. People have left and had songs, they came from there and they had songs, but we're talking about as a complete army, like, you know what I mean? And represented it like how they represented New York at one point, how they did LA, how they did Houston.
Here's the thing with the Midwest. It's so diverse that you can't just be stuck on one aspect of what it brings.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest difficulty the Midwest has often. Two, is too much division.
Okay.
That's the biggest obstacle the Midwest has to get over. I can only speak from the Chicago side of it. The reason why Chicago hasn't had that huge music imprint such as Atlanta and New York and LA is because nobody wants to support everybody. Everybody wants to be out for self, and then when somebody is blowing up, they want to hate on that person. Like when the drill music scene came out, all them young artists should have got together, man, and grew up. But because it was more of a gang, neighborhood type beefing thing, that destroyed any type of notoriety or big influence Chicago could have got. Drill music could have been on the same level as Atlanta.
Like how they had the trap music.
Mixing in gang warfare, and it's too real because guys were literally dying and going to jail behind this shit. That division and that animosity the real, any type of strong movement it could have had. So the Midwest here, we just got different layers of music, man. Like, you got your gangster here, you got your party here, you got your conscious here. Chicago is the capital, in my opinion, of the Midwest, because we got a little bit of everything. But the problem is there's less networking and a lack of unity. If we were able to bring all that diverse elements, morph it together and support each other, the Midwest, man, it'll be the biggest thing in music, period.
Yeah. Because you do got a lot of them that came from there, man. Eminem, R. Kelly, Kid Rock, Prince, Michael Jackson, Holly Berry, she from Ohio. Oh, yeah, it's a lot. Twister, Crucial Conflict, all them. Nelly.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like, all them all together. Like, it'd be, like, over, huh? Yeah, man. Yeah. Definitely. All right, so anything you want to be able to tell the listeners before we go and everything?
Far as like my music, Black Determination is out on Spotify, iTunes. It's been out since June. To me, it's been a success because people have purchased this album worldwide. I mean, I've had sales from as far as New Zealand, bro.
Okay.
You know, I've had my music played in the UK. I've had album sales in France. So I'm having some success with it. But I'm currently in the lab. I'm working on a new album later this year called Black Manhood. And this, to me, is, in my opinion, will be my quintessential album.
Okay.
Because it accomplishes everything of what I stand for and what I represent as a black man.
Okay.
Being highly inspired by Malcolm X and want to continue to carry on that legacy of being a positive and productive black man by being a devoted father and being a good positive role model in the community. So it's something that I take near and dear to my heart, and my music, and this album is going to reflect more of that. And also, you're going to see a little bit more vulnerability. I'm going to address a couple of issues that I've never addressed before, such as domestic violence. What leads a man to want to put his hands on someone? You know what I'm saying? And
okay.
Also, you know, topics like that. We go more in depth of why these gender wars between brothers and sisters are occurring, and also shedding light on some of our historic figures that most people don't know about. Like, most people in America have no clue about Patrice Lumumba. Okay. I got a song on this new album that goes into that.
Okay. And I want to ask you a question too, real quick. What is the spirit? Because what is the spirit of Fred Hampton in Chicago? And not too many people know Fred Hampton, but Black Panther, Fred Hampton. What is it, even to this day? Or even, let's just say, since you was growing up, even leading up to now, from the city, from the roots of Chicago, what is the spirit like for that man still?
Fred Hampton is adored here in Chicago, bro. The fact his son still lives here, he is adored here. He is highly respected. In fact, I did a performance back in December in his honor.
Oh, okay.
He is highly respected here. A lot of people love him here in Chicago, man. I mean, you can't go around disrespecting that man here in the city. If you disrespect Fred Hampton in front of me, it's gonna be a problem. I'm not saying you in general. I'm just saying, anybody. But Fred Hampton is highly adored, and the work he put in here in Chicago is absolutely undeniable. He gives nothing but the utmost respect here in the city, bro.
Bet. Because I know we talk about a lot of different people coming from Chicago, but not too many people, mention that man's name, man. You know what I'm saying? And just the way that murder happened, man. Like, we read some of it in the school books and everything but for people who, how we was talking about how, you get to hear those, the Africans used to tell those stories. Somebody grandma had grew up back then and knew them stories, man. Not the shit they put in the newspapers, but the story, how it went down. You see what I'm saying?
And see, that's the thing, and that's the reason why I like bringing up topics like this in my music. Because when I was a kid, my grandmother used to tell me about Fred Hampton.
See what I'm saying?
She used to tell me about you know, how they used to have them breakfast programs out there, and they started up them clinics. Like back in the day, bro, in my neighborhood, they used to have little small clinics in the neighborhood where you can go get doctor checkups and all that. And you really didn't even have to have money for insurance back then. So people were getting checkups and stuff like that, and that all was started because guys like Fred Hampton, and also the gangs back in them days, man. Like, for example, my neighborhood, the Vice Lords, people like Gore and Benny and all them. Now these the real OGs I'm talking about. You know,
Okay.
the Al Gore, the Al Gores and the Benny Boones and all them. These were the real OGs that took that same spirit that the Panthers presented back then, and they, instead of just being into the gang aspect, they started really fixing up the community. This is late 60s.
Okay.
And then we all know what happened with the COINTELPRO. You know, the government destroyed all that.
Right.
But those clinics and stuff stayed open for years, man, and they shut them down in the 2000s, and this is when the community really started crumbling. But the influence and the example Fred Hampton and those guys set back then, people passed that down to guys like me.
Right.
So now it's necessary for me to continue on sharing those stories to the youth and things like that. And plus, Chicago, man, it is a very vibrant black city. This is what's not talked about in the media neither. So Chicago has, I think, the second or third largest black community in America, because we got nearly 1 million black people here in the city.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
we're a city within a city.
Right.
And there's a lot of rich black history in this city that doesn't get promoted nowhere near as it should be. So that's why I say, you know, Chicago has a very rich city culturally and is very diverse. And it's not just only on the south side and the west side. North side got a lot of it as well. East side do. I go on and on about Chicago, bro.
Right. I got you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for, man, being able to come through, man, and being able to, you know what I mean, tell your story and give us that, you know what I mean, that history, because it is important, man. Like I used to tell us at school, man, you gotta know where you came from, man. You gotta know where you going, man. Sometimes you gotta listen to the people that's been through the jungle before you even get to the jungle. Because I remember being a youngin', you know what I mean? I remember older cats like, man, you going over in that neighborhood, man, you gonna need this, that. And I remember like saying, like, man, I don't need that. Then be like, man, you need to chill out, though. Like, you gonna need this if you going over there, though. And then it's kind of like you start looking in their eyes and they for real. You be like, oh, okay, maybe I don't even want to go to that jungle now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's good to be able to, if they fighting a war out here, the young black males, then they need to have the right weapons, man, and not use them weapons against each other. That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? People trying to be happy.
I totally agree.
You know what I'm saying? And we kind of like how we talk about like friends, and we kind of like, really, you owe, you know, a lot of, you know, things that you really take for granted as black males to them brothers too, man, because they went against the government for real. Like this ain't no movie. This ain't no songs. Like they actually having real shootouts. People actually Panthers really dying. Like they really ran up in that dude's house while he's sleeping with his wife and the unborn baby, all that, man, and shot dude up, man. Like real life, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the youngins, they be rapping it, but they don't understand that they were actually dying for other generations to be free, man. That's how I look at it. So it's like the music now. You know what I mean? You dying in the streets now, but you know, what examples is your death gonna leave for the next generation? You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, dog. What was the death meaningful for? You know what I'm saying? If you gonna die, man, at least die for a cause that's not, because that's what all the ancestors back from the African enslaved, like they wasn't trying to get free for themselves. They knew that that wasn't gonna happen. Like, man, I'm gonna do this for my kids. I'm gonna do this for my great grandkids.
And keep in mind, Fred Hampton was killed at 21 years old.
Yeah, man.
Fred Hampton didn't even get a chance to fully mature and develop into a stronger, powerful leader.
Right.
So imagine if he'd have lived to say 35.
Yeah.
our community probably would have been even more better had he lived the extra 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time, gangs had stopped beefing with each other. In '69 in Chicago,
Right.
Blackstones weren't fighting no vice lords.
Right.
You know, even GDs and BDs, they were one coalition together back then. They were the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. You had David Barstow and Larry Hoover as the main chiefs of that gang.
Right.
And they had a truce with Jeff Fort, who was leading the Black Keystones back in them days, to, hey, look, man, you do what you do in your neighborhood, we do what we do in our neighborhood, and we're not going to have no beefing. And then the Black Panthers, because of Fred Hampton's influence, he knew the streets very well. He was cool with all the gang leaders. So none of that fighting was going on back in them days. The government knew that,
Right.
and they decided to take our best and brightest out because they knew how powerful those guys were. So I try to influence young guys with that example. I'm like, if they can kill him at 21, as powerful as he was at 21,
Yeah.
imagine what you can do as a youngster when you're equipped with the right knowledge and things that needs to guide you in the right direction.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Definitely, man. We gotta get that history out, man. Like I said, I appreciate you coming through, man. I'm gonna talk to you real soon, all right?
Yes, sir. And I truly appreciate y'all having me on your platform.
No problem. We'll talk again soon.